Good evening, Warriors, and welcome into a special Monday night edition of the R&R Sports Report. I'm your host, Randy Ispa. With me, as always, Mr. Robert Hagan. Robert, Game 3 of the World Series is done. Monday Night Football was a thing, I guess, and we're here for around an hour. We don't have a specific time of a fantastic show. We'll get to a lot of stuff. Harry and Eric are waiting along the wings. We want to get to some local stuff first. But first, how you doing, man?
Dude, unbelievable. Getting psyched up. This weekend's going to be crazy busy with everything going on. Senior night at LC Volleyball. Clarkson girls pick up a win, much needed for state. Boys football has a bye week. And dude, it's MMA weekend.
Yes. I'm still jealous you get to go. I was too worried with all the senior night stuff and the stuff I have to do afterwards to try to get there in time. So I know you will keep me updated and very excited to see how that goes. We'll get all to that. Just to give you a quick rundown, again, we'll do Monday Night Football, though I don't know how long we're actually going to talk about that. Get into some Week 8 NFL games. I put 7 in the preview. I can't count. World Series Game 3 was actually entertaining, though the offense for both teams kind of disappeared. We'll get into our high school and college picks. We'll get Harry and Eric in on those as well. And then a little segment from my past, Harry and Eric know all too well, called Bad Brackets. Hagen acts like he doesn't know what this is. He has watched this before.
I can't quite remember all of it.
We did sports movies, a Bad Brackets version on one of Eric's shows. And I came out with the bracket, and they just cussed at me for, what did we do, 5 or 6 episodes? That remind me. But we had a lot of fun. So we have a smaller version of that to end the show just to have a bit of fun. But before we get the guys on here, some local stuff. You and I were helping out over at LHS over the weekend to do the Class 1A Division II Volleyball State Championships. Congratulations to Horseshoe Bend, 3-time straight winning that state title, absolutely dominating fashion for the Mustangs. They have a girl on that team as full ride to Idaho State. She was phenomenal.
Yeah, they in the tournament won all of their games, which was basically 2 of them, three nothing, 3-0. But yeah, you talk about Anna Lee Wilson, 6'1", and she had massive speed on that arm when she was knocking them down for kills. One girl took it right off the square of the chest from Council and just knocked her flat on her butt. And it was kind of like, okay, she's here to play, and that's it. So
it was one of those tournaments that we were just trying to figure out who was going to finish second at that point. So congratulations to them. Congratulations also to Juan Pablo Quison. I can never say his last name. Crisoboni, I believe is how you say his last name, and Kyle Curry. They were both named to the CCC Rise Laboratory Athlete of the Week. They both were fantastic at golf. Juan, wins his first ever collegiate event, and it was his last collegiate event. He graduates here in January. So congratulations to him. The LCSC women's basketball team has their first home game of the year Thursday at 5:30 versus Whitman College. I won't be able to make that one, but hopefully they get a W there after struggling a bit over there in Montana. Men are back in exhibition action on Friday, 6 p.m. at the Kennel as they go on and face Gonzaga. You and I are not allowed to go to that game because we have volleyball commitments, but I tried to get out of it. It didn't work. Cross country has their conference championships on Friday, so good luck to them. And as we've already kind of mentioned, final regular season weekend for LCSC volleyball Friday at 6 p.m. against the number 3 team in the country, Eastern Oregon, and then Saturday at 5 p.m. against the College of Idaho. LC is locked into the conference tournament, possible to get into the 7th seed, but it's difficult with their schedule. But we will be there to celebrate the seniors. Kenzie Dean, the 5th-year senior, now second all-time on the all-time digs list, so we'll get to celebrate her as well. And then, of course, Clearwater Combat, which you get to go to. Just kind of run down a couple of the matches on the card.
Yeah, the big ones happen to be our buddies in the pro fights. Brian McElroy taking on the kid from that I got to watch up in Spokane back in July. He is coming back from Chicago to fight Brian, and Drake Randall, another big one against Owen Robinette. That is going to be an entertaining fight. And Dimitri Morales taking on Brandon Sly. It's going to be a huge one. There is one title bout. Melvin Joy is taking on Patrick Wood for a title fight in the amateur card. But I think I remember saying 11 bouts total, as last I heard, that will be happening on Saturday night out at the Clearwater River Casino at 7 o'clock.
All right. And then you said Clarkson going on the stage.
Yeah, Clarkson girls had a matchup today. It was some state-bound stuff. So they took on East Valley, come away with a 3-1 win. They held East Valley to no points in the second half, which was great. So they are playing West Valley. West Valley is ranked number 1 in the 2A division for the state of Washington. So the winner of that game will get the one out of GSL. Clarkson will, or more than likely, Clarkson will end up 2, as they have lost to West Valley earlier in the season. So they will get seeded in the tournament. That we will know. But so Wednesday is kind of one of those games that's it's there because we have to have it, but almost guaranteed it's going to be a 1-2 West Valley Clarkston, and then figure out where they're going to get seated.
And there you go. We'll have the recaps of all of that next Tuesday in our normal time as we get back into a normal schedule. But let's go ahead and bring him in. Get in Harry Broadhurst, Erik Watkins back on the show. Obviously, I've done a lot of work with them. Erik has been gracious enough to do a bunch of guest hosting with us throughout the time. Harry gets on their comments and jumps in on different specials as well. So real quick, guys, how's it going?
Quite well. A happy sports equinox to everybody. I get to don a shirt that I have not worn in many moons, thanks to another win by the team with the longest active winning streak in the NFL right now. Thank you very much. So yeah, it's a good time. Good times in the realm.
Harry was talking about the mute button before the show started, and he has it hit.
Smug is not a good look on you, Watkins.
Look, neither are fedoras, but damn it, I will wear one if I feel like it.
Okay, I just want the record to state that Erik was the first one to swear tonight.
It was not going to take long with you two. That's just how it is. By the way, not an official R&R Sports Report, as we're not at the college, but we will try our best to say semi-PG. Harry did ask me PG-13. I go, PG-13, but be careful. So just to let you guys all know, we're going to have some fun on this show.
Well, here we go. You and Doof and I did the funniest sports-related player names, and we had some crazy names we got away with saying on our home episode a couple weeks ago. So,
well, those will not equal the names I'm going to be called during bad brackets at the end of the show. Let's get into Monday Night Football so we can get this out of the way. The Detroit Lions defeat Las Vegas 26-14. And I'm just going to ask you, Harry, real quick. Are the Raiders worse this week offensively than the Jets and the Giants were yesterday?
No, because Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Zach Wilson.
I said just this week. He was 10 of 21 for 126 yards and an interception.
Yeah, but I think Garoppolo is also working with his hands being kind of handicapped around him because, let's be honest, Josh McDaniel kind of sucks.
Well, also, you look at that, though. He was sacked 6 times, losing 49 yards. He looked terrible in the pocket.
If we're talking about anybody on that team that has a legitimate gripe to want to be somebody else, it's Devontae Adams, who only had 7 targets with 1 catch tonight for 11 yards.
And some of those targets you can't even count as targets as they're 20 yards away from him. Just frustrating. Harry was on StreamYard with me for the last 7 minutes watching me just cry. I need a 20 or 2 more points from him to be able to win a matchup. I lose to Erik in another one from my stupidity. I nearly snuck away with that victory, but just this Raiders offense was horrendous, especially in the second half. Garoppolo looked horrible. The offensive line looked worse. But Erik, we switch it on to the other side. Detroit, bouncing back after a loss last week. What did you see from them?
I saw the team that this is what Dan Campbell was proud of. This is the team that goes out and bites the kneecaps. Defensively. And the ankles as well. Maybe an occasional helmet to the knee, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Jahmyr Gibbs, powerful running, wearing down teams. Jared Goff continuing to look like his 2018 self. Multiple sacks from that defensive line. It's like, all right, this is the special that everybody kept talking about.
Yeah, I know that the Rams got a championship out of that trade getting Stafford, but let's be honest here. I think Detroit couldn't have asked for this to go any better with the Stafford for Goff deal with the extra picks that they got too. Because Goff has turned into a franchise quarterback for the Lions when most thought that he was done and washed after his time with the Rams.
And you talk about Gibbs. Gibbs had another great day. Put me over the edge. I knock off Doof in one of my fantasy leagues. But you look at that, though. Laporta has proved himself over the last few weeks. Also, you've got Raymond, who was a 4th-round draft pick. And this club is playing quite well. It's not the same club that we watched against the Baltimore Ravens, who obliterated them in the first half. But there's something special with this team.
It's the same group. Nobody changed. They just got off to a better start against a less impressive team. It's not like the team has changed in the last week.
But at the same
but here's
time,
Harry,
you first.
Just real quick, are the Ravens that good, or were the Lions just that bad last week? Because I think last week was kind of an aberration against Baltimore.
I just think it's one of those things with the NFL. Who knows? Whatever happens last week does not mean it's going to happen this week. It just weird things happen, especially this year.
I mean, with the Ravens, Robert, you know this all too well. If they're a great team or they're playing a great team, hey, they're going to play lights out. But if it's one of those games where you think they should win easily, they stub their toe and start cursing. And then on the other hand, the last time Detroit was 6-2, it was a little bit of fool's gold. I'm not seeing it this year. Harry, you were about to mention something.
I was just going to say, if anybody can sympathize with what Robert goes through there, nobody circles the wagons.
Fair, 100% fair. All right, we'll get back to the NFL here shortly, but I want to get into World Series game number 3. Texas comes away with a 3-1 victory. Looked a little concerning for them as Max Scherzer goes out with a back injury, just going 3 innings. But they get enough offense in that 3rd inning. Another big home run by Corey Seager, a 2-run shot, and then the pitching staff for the Rangers completely get it done. Texas continues to be ridiculous on the road in this postseason, which I think
undefeated,
which has become the most impressive thing. I think they were disappointed they had home field advantage in the World Series. It messed things up. But Erik, I have to ask, because it drives me nuts. He drove me nuts for the last year or two. He was a Yankee. But when will Texas just go, screw it, we're never pitching Aroldis Chapman again?
I mean, if they're waiting for some of those magic moments, they happen when you saw him in Chicago, naturally, when he started his career in Cincinnati. It's like one of these days, they're hoping and praying something back in the World Series. It's going to pay off and he'll be lights out. I personally just don't see it, but don't be surprised if you give him one more chance and they'll say, all right, fine. You end up with one more ring, then you're done. Goodbye.
Yeah, Chapman's done. I think hitters have figured him out.
It's been a complete mess. And then Hagen, I talked about Scherzer getting injured. Will that affect the Rangers the rest of the series? I mean, the way things would have worked out, maybe he is able to come back if there's a game 7, but with his back being like that, he might be done.
Yeah, he was slated for game number 7 if it was to go that far. But now, like we want to really talk about, and Sean brings it up. Yeah, it's a tie with a record. I think if the Rangers come out the way they did tonight and play hard tomorrow night, I think this series might be done in 6.
All right, I'll go around the horn real quick. Erik, who wins the series and how many games?
I'll agree. Texas in 6. The magic is done for Arizona. Sorry, this ain't 2001.
Yeah,
Terry?
I said Texas in 6 before the series even started, just because I thought that they had the hot hand right now, being able to pull off the run that they've done through the American League. The bigger concern for me for the Rangers, though, is Adolis Garcia, who left tonight's game in the 8th inning with an injury. So it'll depend on how healthy he is, because that guy has been the spark plug of that Texas Rangers offense here, your American League Championship Series MVP.
For me, I think it's also going to be Texas in 6, but highly impressed with, I think in one of these games coming up, it's going to be Corbin Carroll making a difference for Arizona. So he gets at least one win somewhere before game 6.
Well, I can't make it a clean sweep. So give me Texas in 7. I can't say 5. I mean, at some point, the Rangers have to lose on the road. They're not going to sweep in Arizona.
Did you see the ESPN notification today, Erik? Game 1 is the lowest rated World Series Game 1 in recorded history.
Did I not say that without 2 top markets, ratings were going to be in the tank?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, MLB was kicking themselves as soon as Arizona came back against Philly, because they knew that they were screwed.
And they Major League Baseball had a really good year ratings wise and attendance wise. The pitch clock absolutely worked out there, but you still have to have teams that people want to watch to get the casual viewers in. I mean, there's only so many hardcore baseball fans left in the world, and
especially
you need the casuals and you need the local teams to really get going. And
especially in this day and age where there's so many more different options than there were when the days that the World Series was pulling in monster numbers.
Yep. 100%. Let's get back into the National Football League. Look at some more of the other Week 8 results. Once again, just kind of we'll go around the horn. Just tell me one game that really stood out to you and why it made such an impact for you. Hagen, I'll start with you.
For me, out of all of it, I am an AFC guy. Hats off to Will Levis. What Will Levis looked like in his NFL rookie start, 4 touchdowns. I cried. I left Hopkins on the bench, and he went off. And Will Levis just looked really good. He looked like does he take the controls of this team? I would like to see that happen. I'm not sure if that's quite going to be the case, but unbelievable for this kid. 4 touchdowns in his rookie appearance.
Harry, what about you?
I'm going to go with the battle of the future of the league here. I'm going to talk about Carolina getting off the schneid against Houston, and the fact that Bryce Young, despite having nowhere near the clout that CJ Stroud has gotten with the way that he's helped Houston perform this year, out-dueling Stroud head-to-head in a 15-13 Carolina victory for Bryce Young's first win as an NFL starting quarterback. And to regards to your Tennessee statement there, yeah, if Tennessee's smart, Ryan Tannehill doesn't see the field again this season.
True. Erik, what about you?
A rematch of Super Bowls past that yielded maybe one small factor of revenge. Cincinnati against San Francisco. A team that validated me, catching a lot of heat for me where I have them in the power rankings. We're seeing Burrow back. We're seeing that offense. And we now have to wonder about the Niners. 3 straight losses. A little bit of doubt creeping in with Shanahan and the system. What's that going to do with the NFC playoff picture? The division getting a little tighter, a little bit more distance with Philadelphia. There's questions now.
You may have noticed I pointed to the Bills hat. The next game for Cincinnati is the rematch of the DeMar Hamlin game. from last season and at Cincinnati Stadium as Buffalo comes to Cincinnati for Sunday Night Football next week. It'll be interesting to see how both teams come into that game emotionally and the after effects that game is going to have, because you got to think that with all the emotions going into that game, whoever wins that game is going to start peaking and start playing maybe the best football in the NFL, and whoever loses that game could go into a tailspin.
Yeah, I mean, that one, there's so many good matchups. We'll talk about some of the Week 9 slate, because this week there was a couple of decent games that were on the menu, and it turned out to be, I mean, another good NFL week. But next week we got some bangers for sure. Real quick on Eric's point, it was just wild that Brock Purdy has all of a sudden decided to throw it to the other team. We've seen 5 in the last 2 weeks. Definitely hurts your chances when you get all the turnovers. Kansas City saw that as well with their 5 turnovers to Denver, where they finally snapped that streak.
What's up with the fact that Patrick Mahomes leads the NFL in interceptions this year? Who saw that coming?
Yeah, he's still going to be atop Mahomes Mountain if you watch First Things First tomorrow. I guarantee it. But the game I wanted to point out was mostly because of the aftermath of it. Like one team that we talk about going on a complete roller coaster, we were wondering if the Minnesota Vikings were going to be sellers tomorrow for the trade deadline. And then all of a sudden they go on a winning streak. They get another big win against the Packers and go win at 24-10. However, they lose Kirk Cousins for the year. He tears his Achilles. So I wonder how quick he got on the phone with Aaron Rodgers so he could go out there on the field and throw cool little passes pregame just a month and a half later. But Minnesota, go ahead.
Not just throwing passes, doing dropbacks too. Like he was doing like 3 and 5 step drops.
Absolutely wild to watch him every single week. And I know it's just a show right now, but it's working for the Jets. I'll take it. But again, with Kirk Cousins, like Minnesota, we all thought was going to be decent. We thought Vikings, Lions were going to battle it out for the division. They came out absolutely horrible. And then you're going, all right, who are they going to sell off? Are they going to sell off everybody? Is Cousins gone? Is Jefferson gone? Jefferson gets hurt. And you're like, all right, well, that's it for Cousins. And every time you turn on a sports show, who's going to trade for Cousins? And then nobody's going to trade for Cousins because they're winning. And then it turns out no one's going to trade for Cousins because he's kind of useless for the rest of the year. But what does Minnesota do? They're up there. They're still up there in the standings. They're making things interesting. Obviously, they would have liked it more if the Raiders could have pulled the upset. But do Minnesota still go all in, or now do they start selling pieces because they got nothing at quarterback now?
I was going to ask, who is their quarterback now that Cousins is down?
He came into the game for a little bit, looked bad. I just can't think of his name at the moment.
Is it Jaron Hall? Jordan Hall? It was a draft pick out of BYU.
Yeah. Jaron Hall.
Yep.
The only thing I knew about him, I couldn't remember his name. He was the quarterback to Puka Nacua in college. I heard that about 37 times today.
Gedzunheit.
Yeah. So it's just a wild one for sure. What's up, Hagen?
Well, I think the main thing, if Cam Akers can run the ball and try to set up a little bit of something, I think Hall will be okay enough to get the ball out to Hawkinson, out to Addison. It's not going to be the way they wanted to finish this season by far, but I don't even see them making a move tomorrow to try to find a backup.
When is Justin Jefferson due back? I know he had the hamstring injury.
I think it's 2 weeks until he's off, or he's eligible to come off the IL, and then it just kind of depends because the hamstrings, you just never know. Real quick, look at the Week 9. Go ahead, Eric, real quick before I move on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how can they make a move when you have so many teams packed in that are practically paralyzed? Nobody's really going to be ringing a whole lot of phones over the next 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't see a whole lot of deals happening tomorrow, if we're being honest. We might see a couple of small bit pieces here and there, but I really don't think this is going to be an especially active trade deadline.
The NFL's never active during the trade deadline. They do all their trades before the draft.
Or during the draft.
Or during the draft, for sure. But everyone always still gets overhyped about, Derrick Henry's moving and Kyler Murray is moving, and none of them are moving. Like, we get some bit pieces here and there, a couple small things, maybe a lineman here and there, but it's not going to be anything crazy.
The Seahawks made a move, though. They got Leonard Phillips from the Giants.
Yeah.
I know Chris Picard was talking about the Seahawks in the chat there. He was mentioning the fact that Seattle took over first place in the NFC West by half a game over San Francisco with their win over Cleveland on Sunday. And apparently the Geno Smith magic from last year is still rubbing off on that team there. Is they've played really well, and Geno led them down the field to beat Cleveland on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. That was the game I was most looking forward to on the week, and it definitely delivered. It was really fun. Seattle now, like you said, leading the division. They have another really big matchup next week. I think Hagan may have a little rooting interest there. But real quick, look at the. Go ahead.
Before you go to 9, I have to do this, and I'm not doing it to poke the bear, but I'm going to poke the bear for a minute. How about 1,078 yards and punts on your game, sir?
24 victory.
24 point punts for 1,078 yards.
In fairness, did you see the field conditions there? Not that MetLife is any joy to play on to begin with.
Whoa, hang on. Field conditions aside, 4 for 7 for 8 yards. This is 2023, not 1923.
I can do one. I can do one better because I just wrote the bio for our power rankings that'll be coming out tomorrow. The backup that replaced the injured Tyrod Taylor, Tommy DeVito, went 2 for 7 for -1 yard.
Negative, what was it, 9 yards if you count in the sack yards and stuff?
Yes,
-9,
four sacks for -16 yards off of 9 yards collectively passing.
For 59 minutes and 30 seconds, that was the ugliest game in the history of the NFL. Then Zach Wilson decided to complete 2 actually legit passes. A couple of field goals later, they won the game. I don't know what to tell you. My favorite, I just watch Red Zone right now and then maybe whatever the local game is showing, I'll put on the side TV. There were times I forgot the Jets were even playing. They would every so often go, and here's another third down that either the Jets and or the Giants are not converting. Okay, we will move on now. And that was it. And then 30 minutes later, oh, by the way, the Jets and Giants are actually still playing a football game. Supposedly, it was horrible. But it's a win, 4-3.
The crazy thought here, Randy, is if the playoffs were to start today, you guys would be sitting right on the precipice of the postseason.
I'll try it. We're hopefully got a couple interesting matchups the next few weeks, and then Bills and Dolphins, and that most likely puts them back in their place. But we will see.
You have a conference percentage loss tiebreaker to Cleveland right now for that 7th spot.
So look at week 9. Look at the primetime games first. Couple of good ones. One not so great. Thursday could be interesting. We were already talking about, Levis being fantastic. Does he do the same thing against the Steelers on Thursday night?
I really think there's a good chance what he can do, and look at Derrick Henry to go wild, but TJ Watt is just a beast, and he kept Pittsburgh in that game this last week too.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think Will Levis, with all due respect to Atlanta's defense doesn't have anybody at all like TJ Watt. And TJ Watt is one of those game-changing players, and Tennessee's offensive line this year has proven that they are not great. So if I'm Will Levis, I'm worried for my life come Thursday because it's going to depend on the Pittsburgh offense if Mitch Trubisky has to start for the Steelers on Thursday.
Right. Trubisky, Pickens, same.
Pickett.
Who cares? They're horrible. Eric, a little bit easier for you over there on the East Coast, but Germany game on Sunday is a must-watch. 6-2 Dolphins, 6-2 Chiefs. Do the Chiefs figure things out on the plane, or what's going on over there?
Oh, I'm going to be honest. I've already got 2 intros in mind. And for those of you that have known me for a long time, I speak multiple languages. Prepare to learn a little bit of German the first couple of sentences. I'm sensing that this is a track meet. The Chiefs are going to want to prove last week was a fluke and they can do without Tyreek Hill. The Cheetah's going to prove he can go ahead and torch his old team, get things back together. So this is one of those, whoever has the ball last wins. And goes ahead and pays for some nice beer in Frankfurt.
And then, Harry, your team plays on Sunday Night Football, another really good game. You already talked about it. Bills and Bengals. Buffalo hasn't really unlocked their potential that we've seen over the last couple of years. Some close wins, but they're still getting victories. What do they do against Cincinnati on Sunday night?
Well, first of all, it puts me in the awkward position of having to root for Kansas City on Sunday, and I really don't like that. But as far as Buffalo-Cincinnati goes, I think it's all about controlling your emotion. Because if you come into that game thinking about what happened last year in Cincinnati in Week 15, that's going to overwhelm your thought process. You can't look at this game like that. You have to look at this as just another game against another team that you're fighting for playoff positioning with, since currently Buffalo sits in the first wild card spot in the AFC playoffs. Do I think that there's a little bit of a revenge factor here after the way Buffalo performed in the playoffs in the divisional round against Cincinnati last year? Yes. But you have to use that as motivation to play better, not just for yourselves, but for the accounting that you gave of yourselves at home against Cincinnati last year.
And then, of course, game of the week, Monday Night Football, Chargers and the Jets. Everybody will be tuning in to see how many punts get kicked in that game.
I'm just going to say to you what I said to my friend Court, who is a Bears fan. Justin Herbert is starting to find his stride again. Be wary. Be very wary.
No, I totally agree. There's a good chance I do not pick the Jets in our pick 'em. I'll just say that. And then, Hagen, we can't skip you. We got to talk about your team. You're going up against the Seattle Seahawks. You get them at home, so that's good. But the Seahawks obviously have been really, really good. 5-2. You guys are 6-2. What do you see in your matchup?
Yeah, it's going to be a battle with that one. I think for the main thing, the defense of Baltimore have to hold Kenneth Walker in check with that game 100%. You look at what Baltimore Ravens have done. Roquan Smith leading the way with tackles for the team this year. But you also look at Geno Stone leading the NFL in interceptions this year. Look for him to be spying on Geno all day. This is going to be an interesting game. Unfortunately, I have to record it to head out of town, and so it's going to be a rough game trying to listen to it on the road.
Yeah. And then, of course, Cowboys and Eagles Sunday afternoon will be another good one. An interesting one that might go under the radar, Vikings and Falcons. Which quarterback will finally get things going? Both teams 4-4, trying to hang in there in the playoff route. So week 9 is going to be fantastic.
I feel like the NFL trade deadline's way too early in the season.
They just want it out of the way.
Well, the reason I say that is you have more of an idea as far as who's a contender and who's a pretender, especially now that it's in an 18-week season. I'd say make the trade deadline week 12.
That's fair, but again, they just want to get it out of the way, I think. And I guess if you do it next week, and then it's halfway through the year, I guess, and then you can go from there. Real quick, power rankings will be out tomorrow. I appreciate all 3 of these guys for always helping out with those power rankings and getting those in, obviously distracting them from getting their work done from doing this show at the moment.
I'm done. I'm done.
And Harry's done too. And okay, it's fine. I'm the only one that hasn't done my job yet. I've got my power rankings done. I usually write my blurbs once I know how much space you guys leave me on each page. Sometimes there's a lot, and I have to fill out a lot of stuff. Sometimes Sean gets a little wordy.
Look, Google Docs
That's
help.
not true.
That's why I have one.
The way they get set up, I have so many on each page, and then once I get everything figured out, then it's Sean sent me his, Chris has sent me most of his. I think maybe all of his actually. So I've already got almost everything, so it's great. So what I like about you guys is you guys are always on top of it, and I appreciate it. But real quick, just a quick preview for people. You want to give me your top 5?
I just closed my document, but off the top of my head, I know I have Philly 1. Jeez Louise, here you're making me do this off the top of my head now.
We can go to somebody else real quick.
Yeah, let me pull it up on my phone. Give me a second.
Okay. Eric, go for it.
Eagles, Dolphins, Chiefs, Niners, Bengals. In that exact order.
Well, look at you, Mr. Memory.
Yeah.
Well, I also have my sheet open, so.
Oh, you cheater.
Hagen, what about you?
I agreed for a second with Eric, but sorry, San Francisco's got a lot to prove, especially with Deebo Samuel down. I dropped them all the way to 7, and Sean, you're very close to what I have. I've got Philly 1, Ravens 2, Dolphins 3, Chiefs 4, and Jacksonville 5.
Okay.
Harry, you got yours?
Yeah, I just found it. Philly 1, Miami 2, Baltimore 3, Detroit 4, Kansas City 5.
All fair. I have the Eagles 1, Ravens 2, Dolphins 3, Bengals 4, and Chiefs 5. So,
I dropped
kind of in there.
I dropped San Francisco all the way down to 10. The 3-match losing streak, the fact that Brock Purdy's apparently human after all, the Deebo Samuel injury.
I have them at 10 as well.
Now, I mentioned this with a couple of other teams, and especially in my last appearances. There are teams in my power rankings where one wrong move, they can absolutely crater. I'm looking at you, San Fran. This keeps going, and I don't like what I see coming off of the bye.
Do me a favor and pull up Chris's comment again real quick.
Chris, Philly, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Detroit for him.
Yeah, I have Jacksonville 7. I don't know about 2, but the rest of the top 5 I agree with.
I still
They're top of the ranking, so
I moved them up to 9. It's yay, but come on, people. Let us not be delusional.
It's Pittsburgh.
I don't disagree with a couple of you. You guys had Detroit up there, and the thing that I lean back is Detroit is still not played a really big games for me to put them all the way up at 5. I have them. I have them right now at 9, but
I'm going to disagree with you based on quality of opposition. The Lions are 6-2, and those 2 losses are to the 5-2 Seahawks and to the 6-2 Ravens.
And that's exactly why I kept them locked in at 10, because the teams that I expect them to lose to, they've lost to. The teams that I expected them to beat, for the most part, they've beaten, and they've beaten quite well. I wanted to move them, but
so what you're telling me is they are who you thought they were?
Exactly. And I can't let them off the hook. I can't.
Rest in peace, Denny.
All right, let's move on real quick. We'll do some high school and college pick'ems. By the way, you can check out all of our power rankings once I put those together. They show up between 10 a.m. and noon on Tuesday morning once I get everything settled in. And I try to post
Pacific time.
Pacific time. For sure. I let Hagen get our pick'ems up there and make that all work. But if you don't care about high school or college pickup, don't worry. Stick around for just 10 minutes because we're going to have a lot of fun with bad brackets. If you never heard of this is a thing that we did on Eric's show, Point of Viewer, and we had a lot of fun with it. I like getting yelled at. Talked about it being its own show. We're going to test it out again today, and maybe we'll bring it. See how it goes.
Don't forget about the origin of bad brackets as well with Life is Like a Game Show.
That's right. We did the game show one first.
Tonight's show dedicated to the memory of Jonathan Nielsen.
Missed that Jets fan for sure. Both Hagen and I went 15-5 last week. I went 6-4 in high school and 9-1 in college. God damn Georgia State. Robert went 7-3 in high school, 8-2 in college. So I still have a 7-game lead. We're hitting right down to the end of high school. Idaho State tournaments are well underway. Washington starts next week. We'll see if Hagen can make a big touchback. So we'll just do Hagen and I real quick for the high school ones. Get the boys in for college. I'm not going to get them to try to predict some of these high school.
I'll try it
if you want.
Look,
Washington
if Kendrick is part of it, I'll take Kendrick. Done.
They're in it. Little note Some of these there's no notes because there's these weird crossover games in Washington where just teams go up against each other. Half the time nobody cares. But I needed 10 games and I wanted to keep it local. So real quick, Washington games. Why is Shadle Park? I was going to ask you, why is Shadle Park and West Valley playing again?
So they are going to be playing a Kansas City tiebreak between all three of them, and so that'll happen tomorrow night up at West Valley.
Well, why didn't you tell me that?
So yeah, so that's why I've got it set up in our thing. So it's Shadle Park, Rogers, West Valley. They'll wait until they get there to see the luck of the draw to find out who finishes second in the GSL, as Clarkson came away with the win this last week, and Pullman knocked off West Valley.
Max Preps only had Shadle Park versus West Valley, so that's what I went with. I'm going to take West Valley in the tiebreaker deal then.
Yeah, 100%. Shadle Park has played well, so has Rogers, but I think too many weapons for West Valley. I see them finishing second in GSL, so tell you West Valley.
We always try to pick games that are going to be difficult to pick. That's why we skip some of the local teams. Again, if we want to keep it local, we've run out of options. So Pomeroy, who is 8-1, is taking on Yakima Nation Tribal, who is 0-6. Pomeroy, anytime they play a really bad team, puts up 50 points in the first half, and they're going to do that again. It's Pomeroy.
Here's the tiebreaker for this one. You have to announce the margin of victory in your prediction.
78.
Well, listen, 2 weeks ago they were 44-0 in the first half, finished at 90-0. This team is good. We have a buddy of ours that his son plays on the team. I coach one of the boys that is a senior lineman. This team is good. Pomeroy rolls in this game.
Real quick, Sheila 2-7 in a crossover game against Pullman, 4-5. Give me the Greyhounds.
Yeah, Greyhounds on a big high after knocking off West Valley. Give me Pullman.
Hagen, I don't know how to say this team's name.
Tanaskis.
Tanaskis. There you go. They're 1-8. They stink. They're at Colfax. They're 1-8. They stink. Somebody has to win. That's the rules of the game. They play on
Colfax.
Saturday. I agree. Give me Colfax.
Colfax has taken a step back this year, but I think they come away with a big win, and they got to hurry up and win that game and clear the field.
Yes, because Asotin at 7-2 is taking on Manson 6-2. It's a crossover game that was supposed to be in Asotin according to the rules, but the distance was too long, so they're meeting in the middle at Colfax on Saturday. Manson's lost their last 2 games. They started 6-0. They're slumping. Maybe an injury has happened to that team. Who knows? But give me Asotin.
Yeah, I think Jim Holman has these guys ready, as he was upset about this game not being a home game. So look for the Panthers to travel quite well to Colfax, but give me Asotin.
All right, Idaho State tournament games here. 5A, the local team Coeur d'Alene at 7-2 hosting Rocky Mountain, who's 7-3. Coeur d'Alene got the bye in the first round. Rocky Mountain defeated Bora 30-15. Earlier this year, back in August, Rocky Mountain went up to Coeur d'Alene and beat the Vikings 16-0. Give me Rocky Mountain.
I think Coeur d'Alene is going to play quite well, and they finally have a good groove going on with their game. This is the only one you and I have different, so give me Coeur d'Alene.
Well, spoilers as far as the rest of the high school goes. But 4A, number 6. Again, why does the 4A have perfect brackets going on with seedings? Now that the Class 1A, now that we've gotten through the first round, has seedings. It's weird that every seed or division is different. But 4A, the 6 seed, Sandpoint 7-3. They're at the 3 seed Pocatello, who is 6-2. Both teams scored 48 points in their wins last week. Pocatello scored over 40 points in each of the last 3 games, but Sandpoint's on a 6-game winning streak. So give me the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think the Bulldogs keep rolling and extend it. Give me Sandpoint.
Class 1A Division 1, Grace, who's 6-3, at Kamei, who's 8-1. Kamei's only loss was the Logos, who's fantastic. Give me the Cubs.
Yeah, it's going to be Cubs all the way if this one.
Speaking of Logos, they host Murtaugh. Murtaugh 7-2, Logos undefeated. And by the way, Logos has scored 66 points or more in each of their last 4 games. Offense is good. 8-man football is gone. I love 8-man football. Give me Logos.
It's so much fun watching 8-man football. Yeah, I'm going to take Logos too.
And then Class 1A Division 2, Dietrich, who's 6-3, is at they're facing Kendrick, who is 7-0. This game, just like the Logos game, is at the
Beer
Kibbe
can.
Dome at the tipped over beer can. I'm disappointed once again that you and I have volleyball. I'm happy to be there for senior night, but I was asked to do play-by-play for this game, unable to do so. But Kendrick, this is a rematch of the state championship last year where Kendrick won 42-34. Just to remind everybody, if you weren't paying attention last week, Kendrick won their last game 2 weeks ago, 102-6.
112.
100. What did I say?
112. Should have
What
been
did I say?
112.
102.
102.
Oh, 112. I can't read.
Yep.
112-6. Give me Kendrick.
I was privileged to call this game last year at Lewiston High School at Bengal Field. And Kendrick, it was not even a match. So give me Kendrick in this one.
We didn't call this game. You called Kendrick game.
It was Kendrick Dietrich.
No. Again, Kendrick faced Dietrich in the championship game in Southern Idaho at Holt Arena.
I'm
42-34. Remember the rematch? I put it in the notes. I can read that. Jeez. All right. Let's get to college. Let's get the boys back in this.
All right.
One good thing about doing a Monday night show is we can get Tuesday night football in on the fun. Northern Illinois is 4-4.
Time for some action.
The sad thing is, it hasn't even been back most of the time.
No, really hasn't. It's been a lot of Sun Belt this year.
Yeah, Sun Belt and Conference USA, but Northern Illinois is 4-4 at Central Michigan, who's 4-4. Northern Illinois, a 5.5-point favorite. I'm taking Northern Illinois.
I'm also going to take Northern Illinois in this one. I think it's going to be a hands-down game.
Yeah, the Huskies have been the class of the MAC over the last couple of years. Give me an IU.
Clean sweep. Give me the Huskies all day.
Let's go to Wednesday. Once again, somebody has to win. It's the rules of football. Kent State is 1-7. Akron is 1-7. Akron's a 3.5-point favorite. I don't know. Give me Akron.
Akron all the way on mine.
I'm going to actually take the Golden Flashes. Akron's been even more disappointing than usual, and this pick in particular goes out to the bottom 10 and Ryan McGee.
See, if you're going to do this, especially when I had a gimmick planned, let's do this right. With apologies to Ryan McGee and Steve Harvey, this pillow fight of the week, in my mind, will go to Akron.
Of the year.
Pillow fight of the week of the year. What would this be? Part 3? Part 4?
Of the century.
Let's move on to Thursday night football. TCU is 4-4. Texas Tech 3-5. Texas Tech is a 3-point favorite. I don't know. Give me the Red Raiders, I guess.
This one was close and a coin flip for me. I know you and I watched both Thursday night games together last week. That was comical.
Straight blowouts.
Yeah, both of them. Give me Texas Tech. I think them at home.
I've seen both teams play. I came away far more impressed by TCU than I did Texas Tech. I'll take the Horned Frogs.
I mean, as a team that's really closer to bowl eligibility, trying to salvage respect for the way their last season ended, I'm taking TCU in this one.
And then on Friday, Boston College is 5-3. They're at Syracuse, who's 4-4. Syracuse, a 2.5-point favorite. Another really who knows one. Give me the orange.
Listen, Syracuse can't bite me in the butt twice. I've already taken them once. They bit me in the butt. Give me Syracuse again. Maybe I'm just, yeah.
Well, once bitten, twice shy? No, once bitten, twice bitten. Give me Boston College.
Give me Q's at the Dome. I'm sorry. The way that the ACC is gone, it seems like one of those things where Syracuse is like, yeah, sure, we'll throw in some more chaos on the pile.
To be fair, as a Miami, a Florida fan, Erik legally cannot pick Boston College to win a game. It still stings all these years later.
Mutter, Gerard Phelan, mutter. No, I'm not bitter.
Well, Erik is bitter over there. Let's move to Saturday to some really good ones. Number 12, Notre Dame, 7-2. They're at Clemson, who's 4-4. Notre Dame's only a 3-point favorite. That's why I picked this one. Eric, who you got?
I'm sorry. Did we not see what Notre Dame did? More so, have we not seen what Clemson is doing, including against Miami? I mean, go Irish. Come on.
Yeah, Notre Dame's performance on Saturday night got an entire university to turn against Pat Narduzzi, and they're not far away from getting they're probably not far away from getting Clemson to turn against Dabo Sweeney at this point, given the performance of the Tigers this year. This is going to be the Irish in a blowout.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is going to be a total blowout. Sweeney just has lost this team. I think Notre Dame rolls.
Let's have some bedlam. Number 10, Oklahoma, 7-1 at Oklahoma State, who's 6-2. I could have been swayed to pick the upset if Oklahoma did not just get upset last week. Give me Oklahoma.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Sooners also.
Yeah, the Cowboys are about to catch an ass whooping.
Worst possible time after what happened with Kansas, Boomer Sooner.
Speaking of Kansas, they're now number 22 in the country. They're 6-2. They're at Iowa State, who's 5-3. Cyclones are a 2.5-point favorite. I did this with Utah last week where they got the big upset and then went on to lose to Oregon by a lot. I think the same thing's going to happen here. Give me Iowa State.
I think Iowa State is the better team. I think they're going to be a home factor in this one, so give me Iowa State.
Well, given the fact that I'm basically wearing Jayhawk blue, I'll go ahead and take Kansas. Plus, anybody who knows me knows that it's Rock Chalk Jayhawk come men's college basketball time. So I'll stick with my basketball team, and I'll go with the Jayhawks here.
I'm liking the number on this one. I think it's going to be closer than you expect, Randy, but I'm still picking the Cyclones in this. Kansas, they're going to have that letdown. They're not used to this kind of moment in football.
Well, I disagree with that because let's not forget in the late 90s, early 2000s, Kansas was a top 10 team in college football.
For how long?
Okay, granted.
Number 5, Washington is 8-0. They're at number 24, USC, who's 7-2. Eric, who you got?
Michael Penix Jr. If anybody's going to make a statement, not just for those leaving the Pac-12, for him personally in the Heisman race, now that Caleb Williams has cooled off, I'm taking Washington.
Yeah, first of all, Michael Penix Jr. is the leader for the Heisman Trophy, not J.J. McCarthy. Let's get that straight right now. 2, USC almost lost to freaking Cal last week. So, Washington and by 3 scores.
Whoa. I think Washington ends up winning this. I hate saying this as I hate pulling for Washington because I'm a Cougar fan. But
oh man, what have happened to the Cougars lately?
Yeah, what has happened to the Cougars? But you're right. USC has just not played the thing. I don't see it being quite that big of a difference. But I do agree with you, Harry. Penix Jr. is the Heisman leader right now.
Well, let's look at what happened the last time USC was in a primetime national game and the performance they put in against Notre Dame, because Notre Dame curb stomped them 48-20.
Yes, they got curb stomped, but guess what? This is the Pac-12. What have I always said over the last 3+ years about the Pac-12 on this show? They will shoot themselves in the foot before anyone can ever make the college football playoffs.
The scoreboard
and now that the playoffs are going to expand, they've just imploded to make sure that nobody's going to make the college football playoffs. Washington is the better team. They have the better quarterback. Caleb Williams, I believe, is overrated. I talked about it last week, but this is the Pac-12. No team remains undefeated. USC with the upset.
Well, to be fair, it's only the Pac-12 for now. Next year, this is going to be a Big Ten matchup, so right. they're already preparing in advance.
But to be fair, the Pac-12 will exist next year. It'll just have all the teams in the Mountain West with them.
Yeah, I'm so curious what that 3-tier system may turn out to be if they get that to work. We'll all get there. ACC came out with all their scheduling stuff for their 17 teams conference.
They just released the SEC schedule for 2024, and it is an absolute blitzkrieg of bullshit.
It's dumb. All right, Two more here real quick, and then let's get to some fun. Number 13, LSU 6-2. They're at Alabama, who's the 8 seed. They're 7-1. Bama's not missing the playoffs, folks. Give me Alabama. I put this on here because I know Hagen can't do it.
I can't do it as much as Bama has struggled this year. If I go against the Tigers, I just think this one's going to be too close. Give me Daniels and LSU.
Can they both lose?
We all can hope.
If I had to pick one here, which team offends me the least? I'm going to go with the Bayou Bengals.
Honestly, it's okay. Which team is going to have more motivation to create havoc and want to take down Georgia in the SEC championship game? And for that, I'm going Alabama.
And then finally,
first game that we're actually split on all the way.
There was one earlier where it was you and Randy versus me and Eric.
I see that now. Yep. I got you.
All right, finally, number 20, UCLA 6-2 at Arizona, who's 5-3. Eric, who you got?
I got UCLA coming off of what could have been a little bit more of a dominant performance against Colorado. Again, trying to win for the road as well. Arizona, good, but as The Rock always says, not good enough. Give me the Bruins.
Yeah, apparently the big winner in that UCLA Colorado game was whoever broke into Colorado's locker room at halftime. I don't know if you guys saw that story or not. A bunch of Colorado players had jewelry stolen out of their locker room during the second half of the UCLA Colorado game. Well, here's my thought to that. Don't wear it to the freaking stadium.
Thank you!
Right. Who you got in this game, though?
UCLA over Arizona for sure.
So I've thought about this, and I'm tempted to change what I have in the notes, and here's why. I finally looked at what time this game plays. That's what I was just doing too. It is the Pac-12 night game, the midnight game. That is the last game of the night for the entire country. Arizona plays quite well at the night. I am switching my pick, Randy. Sorry, I'm taking Arizona. I'm changing it.
You're only switching it so you could take my thunder. No. I'm also taking Arizona. Second time that the R&R Sports Report and what were you guys called?
BWSR.
Yeah, there you go. Are going head to head. We'll see how all that goes. We'll talk about it again a week from Tuesday. Hagen will have all that stuff posted on Wednesday morning. I almost said tomorrow morning. It's not.
I'm gonna have to. We have a Tuesday game. I already have it.
You're gonna have to get it posted.
I have it ready. I'll get her sent out and ready to go here in a little bit.
Hagen, the cable guy's going to get her done.
But let's have some fun to end this show. And again, we're trying to hit the hour mark. We're already pushing an hour before we start this. I will try to push some of these matchups along as we go, but I did expand it a little bit more than I was expecting. Bad brackets. So this is a thing that I have done with Harry and Eric multiple times. What we did game shows. We did the greatest game shows of all time, and we did the best sports movies of all time. Are those the only two we've done?
Yes.
Yeah. We've had talks for other ones, but I think those are the only two that were completed. But this is the R&R Sports Report. We talk about sports here. So, of course, our topic is the greatest Halloween candies today. And again, I was going to go with just a small little 8 candy draft, have a little fun with you guys, but doing some research to figure out what candies I wanted to put and where I wanted to put them. I found a couple of websites that gave me some really cool statistics, so I went with them. Do you want me to reveal how I have seeded this bracket yet, or would you like to know later?
Just tell me how many teams are in the bracket.
24.
Oh, so there are playing games. It's FCS football.
There are playing games to this thing.
Well, I'm surprised that Randy didn't make a comment because Eric said a few minutes ago we talked about bowl eligible. There's already how many bowl games there, Randy? 64.
Why would I care about bowl games right now? We're talking about bowls of candy. That's what we're
This
talking
is
about.
technically this is an
Oh.
FCS playoff bracket, not an FBS bowl system.
Technically, it's not even FCS because they expanded to 28.
What is it?
But-
Jordan All? Is that a thing?
Oh,
I don't know. I think Chris is saying Reese's. I'm gonna have to agree with him.
Reese peanut butter cups
So
better
real
be a
quick,
high seed.
Do you want to keep the process hidden for now, or would you like to know how I did it?
what would make me scream quieter internally? That's my first question.
Whatever it is, I want to do the opposite because that's the whole point of this. We'll just go along. We'll just move things along. All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna go bracket by bracket because that's the best way that I was able to format this stuff. Once we get to the final four, then I'll have to do some quick editing magic and come back to it. But I did way too much work on this board. Hopefully it all works out. I tested it with my son and it made things work. But we're gonna go through. We're gonna do the first rounds first. You guys ready?
All right.
Love the enthusiasm. So we're gonna have the 15 seed and the 18 seed. Any guesses for our first matchup?
Oh, if we're talking those low of a seeds, I'm thinking something contentious. This is where I would see candy corn and licorice around in this sort of a seeding range.
Candy corn's top 5.
Ooh, we're gonna get some fights. By the way, for anybody that's never seen bad brackets, I just put the brackets out there. Whoever advances is not up to me. It's up to these three. Majority rules, and then they get mad at each other because they left somebody out. But anyways, your first one, the 15 seed is Double Bubble, the old bubble gum. They always show up in your Halloween candy boxes, right? So they show up, and Snickers,
Ooh.
the 18 seed.
I promised.
Where are you going?
I promised. The refrigerator is too far away. It would be too inconvenient for me to get up right now. Why do you have to be this rancid this early? What did I ever do to you?
I told you I could have revealed the secrets to the bracket. You don't want to know. I'll tell you later.
So Rancid Randy has already shown his face. Is that what you're
100%.
trying to say?
Yes.
100. Just wait. But
Can I just say that the only thing I disagree with here is the fact that Snickers should be the higher seed? Like this isn't even close to me.
I agree with you completely. 18.
Yeah, putting Snickers in a playing game is just rude.
So
Snickers advances.
Yep,
Snickers advances.
Snickers easy advances.
Oh, work. There it goes. And I go over here and put in 18. All right. Next matchup.
Check out the production values on us.
I may have to do all of it myself. But here we go. It's the 10 seed and then the 23 seed. Remember, 24 teams in the bracket. You have Tootsie Roll Pops and Lemon Heads.
Okay, so I need a clarification here. Are we counting the flavored lemon heads as well, or just the original?
That's up to you guys.
I would say just the original. I'm an original kind of guy, but
I mean, I like and I also like the chewy.
Made Haley mad. I love it.
I like the chewy lemon heads too.
Haley, I will bring you some candy corn on Sunday.
I mean,
Haley, you should throw it at him when he brings it to you.
See, if we're talking especially the chewy ones, okay, but overall, this is relatively easy for me. I've always had a soft spot for the Tootsie Roll Pops.
Same.
Always.
Yeah, this is TRP.
Hagen,
Now,
where would you have gone if you had a vote?
So is it Tootsie Rolls or is this the
Pops.
sucker?
This
Is the sucker. I'm going Lemonhead.
Well, you have been outvoted. Welcome to that disaster all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody always feels bad. Easy win for Pops, says Jesse. Have some fun. All right. Now, let's continue on in the bracket.
Well, I am the eldest, Christopher.
All right. So the 18 seed Snickers are going to go up against the 2 seed
kind of bracket frickery is this?
Print your brackets gave me the bracket format. All right.
Oh, wait, 2, 15, 15, 18. That actually makes sense.
Yeah. The 2 seed, hot tamales. Hot tamales or Snickers.
Bullshit. Okay,
I'll tell you the reasoning for all of this later.
So you do realize the PG-13 rating means I can use certain words. It is bullshit that hot tamales are a 2 seed.
I'm gonna go vote Snickers. That's just me.
Snickers.
Same. What?
Why? No, I like hot tamales, but no, yeah.
Where did you get this bracket numbering from?
Yeah, hot.
Do you want to know now? Do we want to know?
Because hot tamales are way overrated. I'm sorry.
Let's finish this part of the bracket out first.
To be fair,
yeah.
You know who the only people who like hot tamales are? Those who can't drink Fireball.
I love this. I love doing bad brackets. I miss this so much.
Haley, that is exactly what we're trying to figure out.
7th seed to take on Tootsie Roll Pops. Hershey's Minis.
Okay, that's a fair 7 seed.
Now, see, this is a 7-10 matchup I can tolerate. Unlike other 7-10 matchups in the past.
You hated them because they were too good.
Never going to live that down.
No, I'm not.
I think this is a close matchup for me. I mean, I like Tootsie Roll Pops, but since we're not counting regular Tootsie Rolls with Tootsie Roll Pops, I think I have to give the advantage to the Hershey chocolate here.
I'm going to have to agree. While you have that delicious center, Hershey.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
They're the superior form in this one.
They just regional finaled us into Snickers versus Hershey's. That's just mean.
Yep. Who makes the final 4? Snickers, Hershey's Minis.
Okay, having been to Hershey, Pennsylvania before, the Hershey process is fascinating to watch. That being said, Hershey's candy bars, after eating a couple of them, you get kind of bored of them because it's just a basic chocolate. Now, if we were counting the other varieties of Hershey chocolate in there, i.e. the Mr. Good bar, i.e. the Hershey's with almonds, i.e. the, what's the one with the rice? The crisp bar. Then Hershey's might have a chance here. But for me, I like the taste variety that comes with the Snickers. So I'm going to go with Snickers.
Anybody else? What do you got?
Look, although I appreciate Harry for knowing me as long as he has and teeing me up perfectly for a joke that I refuse to make because of sensibilities.
Family show, Watkins. I haven't gotten to use that in a while.
I know, trust me, and it's been uttered at me a few times in recent months, but I too am going with Snickers on this one.
Well,
again,
Robert,
I'm not me when I'm hungry.
I would be outvoted. I mean, I like both of them, but if I had to sit down and buy a bag,
you can cast a pity vote.
Yeah, I would do the original, but I'm okay with Snickers coming out of this bracket in a Final 4.
There you go. Snickers on to the Final 4, as it should be. It's totally fine, guys. Everyone gets mad about the bracket, and the right one goes on.
Whoa. The right one goes on, yet it's an 18 seed.
Can I tell you why? I will unveil the curtain for you, and you can blame all of America. There is a website called candystore.com that had all sorts of ridiculous amounts of facts on candy. And I didn't just want to go off of their straight list of the popular candies. They have a segment in here that breaks down the top 3 candies in every state. So I took the top 3 in each one, put them in a database, and every time it got a vote, it moved up the seedings. Snickers is only in the top 3 in 4 states. It's not my fault. It's 46 country or states out there that's the problem.
Randy Isbell, do you not know that you can't entirely trust the opinions of everyone in the country, including those of people from Florida? I know because I live here.
When it comes for entertainment, Absolutely, I can rely on them.
So basically, what I'm hearing is 92% of the country needs a good swift kick in the ass when it comes to candy bars.
Would you
I
like to know the
concur.
4 states that have Snickers in their top 3?
I would.
Georgia.
Arizona has it 3rd. By the way, behind Hot Tamales. By the way, Hot Tamales was on the top 3 in 13 states. It blew my mind. Okay.
Again,
wasn't me, but
states
Arizona
where
has them
Fireball
3.
probably isn't legal.
Snickers is number 1 in Idaho. It is not in Georgia. It's not in the top 3 in Georgia.
Wow.
Mississippi, it is 2nd. And it's 3rd in Oklahoma. So there you go.
Okay, I'm going to want a breakdown for Ohio and Florida before we end this episode.
We'll get to it. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next bracket.
Sub bracket, yes.
14 seed and the 19 seed.
We're just getting started, and he's already pissed.
I will.
We're just getting started, and he's already pissed off like 4 people.
That's what I'm here for. I had to pull up my list so I remember what was coming up. But we have Blow Pops.
I don't see
Almond
graphics.
Joy. Oh, I gotta bring that back up. There you go.
Yeah, might
Blow
help.
Pop and Almond Joy.
No brainer. It's all about the Almond Joy here for me.
No, yeah, for sure. Not even close.
I don't like almonds. I will gladly give my pity vote to Blow Pops.
Okay, but let me state once again the same thing that I stated in the earlier part of this conversation. Bubblegum is not candy. It's its own separate classification, in my opinion.
But
Oh,
it has a
don't
sucker
go.
around it.
Don't get me started on that because there's people that want to know if hamburgers are sandwiches and if hot dogs are sandwiches. So
Hamburgers
not
are
what they
sandwiches.
say.
Hot dogs are not.
let's move on.
We're only having one fight here today, and it's not over that. The 11 seed versus the 22 seed. How about Jolly Ranchers
I did call them on the list.
against Kit Kat?
22.
One state had Kit Kat in their top 3.
Kit Kat all day long.
Give me Jolly Ranchers.
Oh, Harry, you're the pivot. You're the pivot man.
And unfortunately for Eric, I'm a chocolate guy. Give me Kit Kat.
Look,
Kit
y'all
Kat
can be
moves
wrong if
on.
you want to, okay? I'm fine with that this time. I get it. The
Hot
summer
dogs are
noodles are the different fruit flavors and everything. They're not for everyone.
hot dogs or tacos. God damn it, Jesse.
By the way, the one state that even got Kit Kats on this bracket was Illinois. They had them second.
I'm
The
not
only state that had
entirely.
them in the top 3.
I can't be entirely mad because of reasons and people in the fine state of Illinois. So, yeah, they get a pass.
All right. Again, you all know how this worked. The 3 seed. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Against Almond Joy.
Ooh. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, that's a tough one now.
Just put them all the way over. Just keep moving them all the way over. I'm voting Reese's. No.
Oh, I love Almond Joys, but man.
I do too. And we already know that Erik Watkins gave a pity vote for Blow Pop. So we already know Reese's is going to make its way.
Bye-bye, Almond Joy. Bye-bye.
I'll throw the
We
pity
have
vote. I'll throw the pity vote to Almond Joy here, but yeah.
Consider this a makeup call, Randy. You are now 35% less rancid than at the start of this bracket.
Hey.
No, he's
getting all
not.
these votes over here from other people. I like it. All right. Kit Kat goes up against the 6 seed. Starburst.
Kit Kat.
Oh,
Starburst,
actually,
Starburst. Come
With
on,
the-
win it.
with the variety involved here, hard candy's not my friend. Chewy candy is my friend, and Starburst has way more variety than Jolly Rancher does. I'm going Starburst.
Name one song right now that has Kit Kat in the lyrics. Because I can tell you one with Starburst. I can't say the name of it, but it exists.
Well, it's not going to matter because it's about to get blasted by Reese Cups.
Yep.
Look at this wonderful bracket. The two teams with the bye ended up in the finals. It's a great bracket, I have to say.
Yeah, both of the underdogs won the play-in game, so shut the hell up, Randy.
You got to have some excitement.
This is Reese Cups, right, guys?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. As much as I love Starburst, especially with the different varieties that Reese's have gone right now, accentuating the peanut butter cups, it's Reese's.
What do you think of the white chocolate Reese Cups? They're not bad.
Chef's kiss.
All right, we're halfway done. We got Snickers and we got Reese's in the semifinals. You
So-
guys have fun with that here in a little bit.
Well, real quick here, I want to get to Haley there because I noticed Haley was commenting there. Haley, are those the two that you would have had in the semifinals off of these two brackets?
No, she picked Almond Joy. She likes Almond Joy.
Oh, so she would have booted Reese. She would have booted Reese Cups for Almond Joys.
My son would have too.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Almond Joys. I can't put them over Reese Cups because I think Mounds are better than Almond Joys, anyways.
Well, you're nuts because Almond Joys are.
Oh.
Well, sometimes you feel like a nut. No, I can't. Family show.
Sometimes you don't. I mean, November is in a couple of days, so.
Shut up, Watkins.
All right. Here we go. I remember this bracket. You guys have fun here. 13 versus 20. Twix versus Swedish Fish.
I mean, to
I'm
me,
a
this is easy.
I'm a
I will
left side Twix.
I will say that Swedish Fish is the favorite candy of Albert the alligator because gators and fish. It makes sense. But yeah, no, this is all about Twix.
All about Twix.
I'd agree. I like Swedish Fish. They're okay. But yeah, Twix all day. Especially.
Have you ever had the
What is it
tropical?
with the left one?
Have you ever had the tropical Swedish Fish?
I don't think so.
They're like
That's
the
what I can remember.
it's like a rat. There's like raspberry and like blue melon or some blue raspberry, watermelon. It's like the different, similar to like how they have the original Skittles and then the wild berry Skittles.
See, has there ever been a company that's had its own battle from its own candy that has worked so well as Twix doing left versus right? Worked out good. Worked out good for them.
Does work out well.
They also had the really good tagline before: 2 for me, none for you.
Yeah. All right, 12 seed and 21 seed. This one I think would be really tough, but that's just me. Milky Way, Three Musketeers.
Oh, come on! Come on!
It's basically the same candy bar, just one has caramel. I'll go Three Musketeers.
I agree.
As much as Three Musketeers was my mom's favorite for the longest time, I got to give my sentimental vote to Milky Way. I like Milky Way a little bit better. Nothing against Three Musketeers, but
Meanwhile, Eric's just disappointed that we don't get to say Milky Way more during the course of the rest of the show.
oh, you wait. I can come up with other stuff.
All right, so we have seen the 2 seed. We've seen the 3 seed. I agree with you guys. I didn't like hot tamales as the 2 seed, but I didn't make up the rules. So, who do you guys think will be the 4 seed?
Better not be freaking candy corn.
I think we have not seen Reese's Pieces yet.
That I will tell you right now, that is not on here.
I'm thinking
Baby Ruth.
Either Skittles or M&Ms. I'm thinking this is around the seedings for this one. I mean, Jesse is technically correct. The best kind of correct. You literally did make up the rules for how the seeding would be.
No, the bracket made itself. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, your 4 seed, Skittles. Skittles.
Good job, Watkins.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm all about the chocolate. But there's something every once in a while to have one of those orange Skittles or the green Skittles. So I'm gonna vote Skittles on this one.
I'm literally showing my vote on my camera right now.
I was able to buy a 10-pack of Skittles Frozen Pops just the other day at Walmart. They are equally as delicious. Give me Skittles.
Can I just point out that this is the most interactive the show has ever been in the comment section?
Yes, which is why bad brackets maybe have to become a thing. I'm having a lot of fun. I love this part. I just love doing this. This is a lot of fun and coming up with weird ways to do it. All right. So we've done 2, 3, and 4 seeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So same question. What's the 5th seed?
Baby Ruth.
Hagen, you got a guess? I have one, but I don't think it's going to be here. I think it's going to be farther down. But we have not seen Mr. Goodbar yet. Or that was the other one I was thinking of. Payday. We haven't seen either one.
100 grants are gross, and you should feel ashamed of yourself.
Listen.
Calm down. Calm down, blasphemer. Calm down.
Butterfingers.
My assistant principal buys the big bags of chocolate, and the first candy bars that are out of that people take are the 100 grands. Those are the first ones to be eaten.
Your assistant principal has no taste.
Yes, he does.
I never get them.
All right. Your 5th seed. Candy corn.
Three Musketeers. That's abomination. Should not be in the bracket.
Boo to you, sir.
Candy
11 states
candy
disagree with you.
I'm saying candy corn.
One of these I would eat in larger quantities than the other. That one is Three Musketeers. Candy corn is fine in small doses. I got nothing really too much against candy corn. But if given the option, a decent amount of candy corn or a decent amount of Three Musketeers, give me Three Musketeers.
Robert, you do know the proper way to eat candy corn, right?
I trust me, I've seen all the memes. I understand what you guys think about them.
Not to mention, if I could use something to light a candle, I probably shouldn't be eating it.
So
Thank you. I agree.
Harry went candy corn. All right.
I agree with you, Jesse. Candy corn.
Get that shit out of here.
So who else makes our final 4? Skittles or Three Musketeers?
Okay, so I'm guessing the other flavors of Skittles aren't in the lineup.
Correct.
Because
it's just straight up Skittles.
So
there's no other stuff.
In that case, I'm combining all the Skittles into one.
I go Skittles.
That's fair.
Skittles in general. Yeah, because you got original, you've got wild berry, you've got tropical, you've got sour Skittles, which are amazing.
All right. Everyone else agrees to Skittles. Let's go to the last bracket. Last sub bracket. Running out of spots for candies that you guys have been mentioning. See if they show up here. Right dead middle of the pack. If I can click on the right thing. There we go.
Somehow I sense shenanigans.
And
I'm sorry, Haley. They're delicious.
Saltwater
taffy. Okay, so I have to ask, what flavor is saltwater taffy? Or is
I think it's taffy in general.
Yeah. Well, we have not done flavors for any of these candies before. We're not doing one here.
I'm gonna say I love saltwater taffy. I'm gonna go saltwater taffy.
So I like Laffy Taffy, but like regular salt, like the actual taffy, I can't eat because it's too chewy. Like the Laffy Taffies I can handle because they're a little bit easier on my teeth. But like actual like factory made taffy, I can't. It's too much chew. So I'm gonna go Hershey Kisses.
Hate to do this to you, Robert. Hershey's Kisses. Flavors aside, if I was accounting for flavors, it would have made it even a wider margin.
I will also give an added bonus to Hershey Kisses for their peppermint kisses that they have at Christmas time. The candy cane kisses, which are really good.
All right. The other play-in game, the 9th seed and the last one to get in there, Butterfinger and
Wow.
Lifesavers.
I remember.
Okay, I haven't
so
seen-
this is funny. I'm gonna go Butterfinger, but the only reason I go Butterfinger is Lifesavers to me was a memory at Christmas time when you got the Lifesaver book.
The book.
Yeah,
And
well,
and you had all of the flavors in there. So I'm gonna go Butterfinger.
You mean the 10-pack books, right? The one that had like the 5 packs on each side that folded in
Yep.
half, right? Yeah,
Yep.
I remember
Yep.
getting those when I was a kid too. Getting those as a kid at Christmas too. I ate so many Butterfingers when I was young that I got physically sick of them. I cannot eat a Butterfinger anymore. The taste of them makes me nauseous to my stomach now. So I got to go Lifesavers here as well.
It was one of the classics. And if we're talking combining all of the different flavors and everything of Lifesavers into one, the original mint, kind of but Butterfingers were always a staple. Butterfingers were always a staple for me.
Well, you can cast the pity vote here, but Lifesavers has already won.
That's fine. I cast that pity vote for Butterfinger.
More importantly, where are Baby Ruths at? Because if Baby Ruths aren't in this bracket, I'm going to be very upset.
Well, they got
you mean like some of my stuff that wasn't included in certain brackets? I don't know. I couldn't imagine how something like that feels.
I don't
whatsoever.
I don't
Eric?
see a payday, a nut roll, nothing yet.
Well,
Eric,
the question now is, what was
you
the number 1 seed?
Real
Probably
quick,
a payday.
Eric, I have a quick question. I have a quick comment for you. If you ain't first,
You're last.
This candy is in the top 3 in 18.
Randy made the rules, yeah.
What are you talking about? I'm just presenting the bracket. This candy was in 18 different states' top 3s. Nobody has mentioned this candy yet. I don't think in this entire show. M&M's.
Yes, I said M&M's.
That's not true.
Remember when I was...
Eric said M&M's right at the very start.
Oh, yes, that was 20, 30 minutes ago. But
when I was debating with a 4 seed, the Skittles M&Ms, I figured it had to have been one of those in that range.
So I have to ask, it's all the flavors then? So that's an easy one.
We've done this every round. It's every flavor.
M&Ms.
And every color too.
Sure. They all taste the same. It's chocolate in the middle.
No, they do not. They do not.
Regular M&Ms, they all taste the same.
Yeah, I will agree. I will agree with Randy in that the individual flavors themselves all taste the same in terms of color, but then you have the different variants in terms of
once you get into the variants,
like peanut butter and almond, and
those will all taste different, of course. Peanut M&Ms and yes,
crispy M&Ms,
M&Ms,
M&Ms, definitely M&Ms.
All right. Final candy.
We haven't seen a couple things yet too, and we haven't even said them. Nerds or Twizzlers. I know Twizzlers have been a big one. We haven't seen those two yet.
Well, the number 8 seed would be my 1 seed. I'll just say that.
Mr. Goodbar or Crunch?
Sour Patch Kids. I made Harry leave.
Sour Patch Kids as the 8 seed?
I'm officially protesting this bracket on the grounds of no Baby Ruths.
It wasn't named after the baseball player, so I didn't care about it.
I have to go against you, Randy. Sorry, I'm just not a sour, so I'm going Lifesavers.
I would go.
Go ahead, Harry.
I'm with Randy on this one. Actually, I go Sour Patch Kids here, just because I like the sour candy.
I'm sorry, Lifesavers gets redemption in this.
It doesn't matter though.
I know it doesn't matter in the grand scheme. M&M's all day. But again,
M&M's is going to win that. So
yeah, this is a no-brainer right here. Like Lifesavers are good, but for variety, for taste, for texture, M&Ms are better in literally every single way.
The only thing that M&M's has going against them is basically their god-awful gigantic stores. I mean, really? Really?
Even the M&M's commercials are better than the Lifesavers commercials. The one with the yellow floating through the air after having a bite taken out of him, hilarious.
I don't think I've ever seen a Lifesaver commercial. Ever.
Many moons ago.
The commercials were more popular around the time that people were giving them to us as kids for Christmas time.
Maybe it must be an East Coast thing.
It is.
You guys are just realized vamping, and I appreciate you.
I just realized that this sets up a son of a bitch of a Final Four for us to go through.
Oh no,
yeah.
I already have it. I already have my
Reese's, Snickers, M&Ms, and Skittles. Oof, jeez Louise. And you're welcome for the cue right into that.
Yeah, there you go. I got that up. Things are not going to be able to move. I didn't get this final screen up, but there you go. Snickers or Reese's?
So technically, you have this as the singles versus the multi-packs for the two semifinals there.
Yeah,
because Snickers and Reese's come in one.
Two in them.
Two
cups.
Not the minis don't. Well,
the minis are one. And usually for Halloween, for this topic, you get the one. That's fair.
And that's the fun size version, whereas the fun size Skittles and the fun size M&Ms always have multiples.
Not like the top seed in every bracket made it, and I would agree Snickers was far too low. So thank all the other stupid states. Idaho had them one. I don't know what to tell you, but
we do need to go back and talk about Florida and Ohio on this because I'm about to get real pissed off at my state.
Yep. All right, but Snickers or Reese's? Where are we going?
I'm going to go with variety. I'm going to go with variety here, the different flavors and the different textures and stuff. I'm going Snickers.
You've got to go with the original. You've got to go with the one that is chocolate peanut butter all day long. Give me Reese's.
But chocolate, caramel, nougat, and peanuts?
Okay. Hear me out. I'm going to pull my own bit of rancidness and bend some rules and considerations here. Branding
Are we going to put hot tamales back in this, and you're going to vote for them? What are you doing, banging rules?
Okay, I know that we're supposed to consider the original, but you know sometimes how I do things. There's original, and then what has the franchise done to accentuate the original?
All flavors count.
In my mind, with all the different flavors and varieties, your Reese's, the cups, the white chocolate cups, the pieces, the fast break, the king size, everything else, I have to go Reese's in this one. I'm not sorry. It's Reese's.
Okay, I will grant you that Reese's has done more. I will grant you that Reese's has done more with the brand because the only other Snickers variation we've ever seen is Snickers Dark, or Snickers Almond too. Snickers Almond actually isn't bad. But Reese Cup has definitely done more in terms of expanding the brand with other things such as the Reese Pieces and the white chocolate peanut butter cups, as well as didn't they do like marshmallow peanut butter cups at Easter?
Marshmallow with Easter. They've got like a cookie and peanut butter combination they had for a while.
I will say this much: Snickers ice cream is way better than Reese ice cream, though.
All right, we've lost the focus. Skittles or M&Ms?
I'm going Skittles here just because of the flavor variety. The M&Ms are good for if you want something specific, like if you're in the mood for, say, like peanut M&Ms or something. The Skittles, you're going to get a wider variety of flavor within every bag because of the different flavors that they have on the individual pieces. I'm saying Skittles.
The only rebuttal I'll have to that is how many different flavors there are for M&Ms now. So from coffee, Java to peanut butter to the mint ones. So I'm gonna leave. I go, Eric. I'm gonna let you go if you know what you're going to do.
Yeah, because I knew this sort of chicanery was going to happen at least once where I would be the tie-breaking vote in a crucial situation. But you mentioned it. Coffee, peanut, crispy, cookie.
I haven't voted yet, Harry. I haven't voted yet.
I'd like to believe that that's going to go my way, but it's not.
Harry, I don't mean to do this to you all the time.
Yes, you do.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you do. Because history repeats itself, jackass.
M&M's. Yes.
People wonder why we don't have a show anymore.
You see, we start the show, we start bad brackets with everyone yelling at me. And with the magic of my brackets, they all turn on each other.
Look, part of the reason we don't have a show is because of one little incident with a bottle of vodka that I still regret to this day. Okay, fine, I admit it.
I was never mad at that. I was just doing my best to try to keep that one together.
You weren't mad at it. My liver was.
So
well,
here's the predicament.
I warned you what was going to happen afterwards.
All right, so here's the predicament I'm in, and this is why my vote is going to go this way. Is I am a Skittles original only. I don't do the tropical. I don't do the sour. I don't do the other. I do, on the other hand, love my peanut M&Ms. I love my original M&Ms. I have to go M&Ms.
In fairness, you think candy corn is good.
Look, I will take official responsibility. This is not my fault. Thank you, Hagen. I will keep this in mind for the next sports-related draft. Yes, I am free.
Don't turn that against me.
Yeah, I can't be bought. But I can damn sure be rented when it comes to sports drafts, Randy.
Well, I wouldn't pick Skittles. That's for sure. All right, what do you got? Reese's or M&M's?
I like Chris's post. You can make cookies out of M&M's too. It's a multiple thing. I said at the very beginning, and I still think number 3 is too low. It is Reese's.
Oh, if you're expecting me to build suspense, I'm not going to. Reese Cups.
Woo! Okay. All right. Good. Yes. It's unanimous. It's Reese's. You can make cookies with Reese's Pieces, though. I actually have some from Walmart. They are delicious.
For the record, however, I probably would have taken Snickers over M&M's as well.
There you go. All right. So, Harry, you wanted to know which states?
Ohio and Florida for me and Eric.
Which one do you want first?
Let's piss me off first. Why not? And to be fair, Robert, my girlfriend's.
To be fair, Robert, a lot of candy.
My girlfriend's a candy corn person too, Robert. So I'm apparently involved with one of you, so I guess I can't be too upset.
So this state-by-state data table has them all ranked by pounds of candy that are consumed and from the state.
I'll take this opportunity. I'll take this opportunity to point out that I flashed 3 bags of candy on this show alone. Right. So,
Ohio, their third ranked candy is 149,000 pounds per year. Is Starburst.
Wow.
Second at 159,000 pounds is M&M's. And the number 1 candy in the state of Ohio at 171,000 pounds per year, goddamn blow pops.
You know
Get
what?
everybody
Nope.
who gave me shit for blow pops.
You know what I say to that? Yes, it's true. Ohio sucks.
As for Florida,
Let's see how crazy we are with this. How much of the
Number-
power of Florida man is influenced?
well, Florida, their number one candy at 667,000 pounds is Reese's Cups.
Okay, that makes sense. I see them everywhere.
603,000 pounds, Skittles.
See them everywhere too.
And 512,000 pounds, and your number 2 seed, Hot Tamales.
There it is. There it goes. Couldn't be perfectly normal, could we? Nope. Right there is just okay. Message
Erik?
received.
Erik, do you remember my earlier comment about Florida and about hot tamales and Fireball?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what the problem is? Is Florida man's high on hot tamales after having too much Fireball?
Especially when you mix it with Dr. Pepper. We get all the spices and everything going on.
By the way, Hot Tamales are number 1 in North Dakota, New Mexico, and Minnesota.
Oh, well, that's because there ain't shit to do there.
Not okay. North Dakota, Fargo, New Mexico, Breaking Bad,
Roswell.
Minnesota.
Hey, you
By
be
the
nice.
way, for Hagen and the local people, for Washington, third is M&M's, second is saltwater taffy, and first is Tootsie Pops.
So
And
I'm
for
guessing.
Idaho,
I
and
feel
for
like they're
Idaho-
probably real quick.
Go
I
ahead.
feel like they're probably combining Tootsie Rolls with Tootsie Roll Pops here
that
because-
I don't know how they all
because
set this up.
there is absolutely no way that it's specifically Tootsie Roll Pops. Because especially when you consider that the Tootsie Roll Pops come in like packages of 5, and the Tootsie Rolls come in packages of like
Well, you also have
40.
to remember a lot of this is based off Halloween numbers, and there's a lot of Tootsie Pops that get bought. on
That's true.
Halloween. In Idaho, Snickers was 1, Starburst is 2, and Candy Corn is number 3.
So you're responsible for this monstrosity, Randy. Congratulations, you just made the
You're welcome.
list.
How about real quick? We got to get out of here because we're well over the hour. But Halloween candy quick facts that they have on here: 172 million Americans celebrate Halloween. 32% of all Halloween purchases are made online. Do you want to guess what the top 2 costumes are for pets?
For pets?
For pets.
Wolf or lion.
Police officer.
Hot dog?
Hot dog and pumpkin. It says among those who celebrate Halloween, 96% will purchase candy.
Oh my God, we're a
Five.
bunch of basic bitches.
And those people will spend an average of $31.93 on candy for Halloween.
I just spent $33 on candy tonight.
Most Halloween shopping is done the first 2 weeks of October. That has not happened here. In Oregon, full-size candy bars are the norm for trick-or-treaters to receive. So if
Hey.
you want big candy bars, go to Oregon or Candy Cane Lane here.
Or go to Clint Olson's house in Clarkston. Clint Olson
Clint's
has
another big
always
one there.
has big candy bars.
Yeah, that was one of the things about going trick-or-treating here when I was younger. Is you always knew to go to like the suburbs. Because if you lived in Youngstown, such as I do, you went to Canfield, Poland, Boardman, the richer suburbs, because you knew that it was likely that they were giving out the full sizes.
Right. Overall, Halloween spending is expected to be $12.2 billion. So
Gotta
just
love
slightly
spooky
decent.
season.
And over 50% of parents stash some Halloween candy to enjoy later in the year. That seems low.
Those are the ones who admit it.
No. Chris, don't move to Candy Cane Lane if you're not ready to be a part of the Candy Cane Lane experience. And or just take your kids trick-or-treating and close the doors. There's a lot of houses that don't have trick-or-treating in that area, but it's become a big happening area. I think even the Tribune covered them. But there you go. That's going to do it. Thank you so much. There we go. to Erik and Harry for joining us again this week and having a lot of fun with bad brackets. Maybe something that I will have to just break down and make a weekly thing because it's a lot of fun to do. And as I think Harry said, the comments were a lot of fun. So I appreciate everybody for joining in, having fun. We'll be back regular time on Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. A lot of stuff to cover locally, as well as NFL Week 9 and see who ends up being the World Series champion. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here on a Monday. Enjoy your Halloween, and we will see you next week. But until then, that's Robert. I'm Randy. This is the R&R Sports Report, and we are